retain the North State constituency in the Abia State House of Assembly, and also the minority leader of the State House of Assembly. And these interactions is to x-ray the present political development in the polity, particularly as it regards to the agitation by various interest groups and the senatorial district for who occupies the governorship position in 2023. And what drew my attention particularly is the interview granted by my colleague and my very good friend, Honorable Onwusibe, the member representing Ukwa La Ngwa South State Constituency. I wouldn't have bothered to reply him, but you know that there are times when silence is not voting. And those times, if you don't adduce a superior argument to address or bring to the front burner misconceptions, half-truths, and outright lies being peddled by some politicians, some people who misinterpret your silence to be admission of facts. I read the interview anchored by the MD of Abia Fast River, Chief Chijioke Chukwu, which he granted to Ginger Onwusibe. All of us are aware. We are aware that His Excellency Governor Chijioke Chukwu is just 2 years in the life of his second tenure. What I think would have concerned Abians more is how to place demand, effective demand, on the executive, on the legislator, to deliver proper democratic dividends. But it surprises me that election that is still 2 years away, that there are strong agitations by various interest groups, various senatorial districts and local governments to occupy the position of the governor. Recently, stakeholders and politicians of Abia North origin equally met and made similar agitations. The agitation is only a follow-up to the struggle and the current agitation being made by other sections of the state. And I asked myself, is it that the governor has finished his administration? Is the administration winding down? Or the citizens have lost faith in the administration of the state? And that is why, ahead of time, they are making these agitations. And those are the issues I want to address. For me, most of the statements credited on Ginger Onwusibe is not only uncharitable, but I think it is meant to distract the governor and the PDP-led administration from delivering dividends of democracy to the people. That is one aspect of it. The second aspect is that this agitation is an indictment on Governor Chijioke Chukwu administration and an admission of failure by the PDP-led government. So they are looking for a way to distract Abians from the real issues of governance and placing demand on the administration, so that the focus will be shifted on who becomes the next governor. Why salaries are being owed, teachers are not being paid, the governor has not delivered optimally on infrastructure, while other governments like Rivers are building $13 million cassava plants to boost agriculture. Akwa Ibom is building state-of-the-art and the best ammonia plants for fertilizer production. We are here talking about 2023, and that is why Abia North, which I come from, that has the rightful place to demand for governorship come 2023, has also risen to say that it is our turn to produce the governor. And I make bold to say that the recent political outburst from our brothers from the so-called Muniato axis of Abia Central Senatorial District, and the most recent one, like I told you, being that of Onwusibe, in that interview was distorted. And I want to quote from one of the lines he said. I want to quote. He said, the present senatorial position, Abia Central, is supposed to come to Ukwa La Ngwa, not precisely because Osisioma has taken their shot. Umuahia South has taken their shot. Ukwa La Ngwa South has taken their shot. Umuahia North is presently on the position. So it is supposed to rotate to Ukwa La Ngwa North now. But a fair person, as a fair person, this is my personal opinion. Thank God he said that it is personal opinion. The opinion of Chijioke Chukwu does not reflect the position of majority of Abia politicians across political divide, across senatorial districts. He was talking about Old Bende and the Abia North divide. I want to tell you that his admission that the political divide of Abia is divided along the Old Bende and Abia axis. The original political divide for Abia State, when Abia was created, is Afikpo division, Old Bende division, Isukwato division, and the Abia division. Fortunate enough, the Afikpo division has been ceded to Ebonyi State. Isukwato, the old Okigwe division, comprises of Umunnochi, local government, Isukwato local government, and our brothers in the Okigwe axis of Imo State. Then you have the Abia division. If we are to be fair, assuming we don't want to go along the senatorial district line, if we don't want to go along the senatorial district line, yes, Isukwato is Old Bende by cultural affinity, not by political divide. By political and geographical divide, they belong to the Okigwe division. And so if we are to go by the original concept of how Abia was created and how it was envisaged that administration should rotate round with Afikpo division out, it would have been natural for a sane thinking person, somebody who does not want to introduce confusion to the polity, to say, yes, Old Bende have taken their side. Where is the Okigwe division of the houses? But recent political development has jettisoned the old division line of geographical administration of our political structure, giving rise to the senatorial districts. And so, an Old Bende man of Abia North extraction had the opportunity given to him in 1999 through George Okalo to administer the state. And it moved to the Abia Central. It does not matter whether the person is of Old Bende or of Ngwa extraction. once it comes to a senatorial district, like we know that it is right of an Abia North to produce the next governor. Whether the person comes from old Bende of Bende extraction or old Okigwe division of Bende extraction, it does not matter. The most important thing is that it must come from Abia North. And if it comes to Central, it is their business to struggle either to produce an Abia Central man of Ngwa extraction or of old Bende extraction. And in all these political permutations, where do we leave the command? So I think submissions made by Honorable Onwusibe is self-serving, selfish, and he is just looking for cheap popularity. He's my colleague. I know where he stands in all positions. What he canvasses in the morning is not what he canvasses in the evening. In the morning, he is canvassing for a governor of Umunato extraction. In the evening, he is consulting his colleague, House of Assembly members, that we should assist for one of us in the House of Assembly to be made governor. So how do you take such a man serious? And the old Bende man, you are seeing them castigate in their political submissions. Is there any man that is anything today in the state that was not made by an old Bende man? Tell me that person. Including Onwusibe, from the time he was casted under Governor Joseph Carlo. And after Governor Joseph Carlo, anything he has been till today was made possible by an Abia Central politician of old Bende extraction. So it's a mark of ingratitude for him to turn around to start campaigning against people that have supported him, supported our brothers, our kids and kin from both Ngwa and Okwa extraction to be where they are today. And I tell you, that is a very bumpy trap for the governor, Governor Keje Ikpazu. Because left for another man, Keje Ikpazu, His Excellency Governor Keje Ikpazu will not be governor today. His ascendancy to that throne, he owes it to people of old Bende. Because if I'm not mistaken, I don't think there is anybody that contributed more in terms of material, human, and financial resources that was deployed to foist His Excellency Governor Keje Ikpazu on Abias than people of old Bende. And he arrogantly said, if you give governorship ticket to an actual not man, then who will do the voting? The music they are playing today, the old Bende people taught them. I assure them that if they bring 80,000 votes from Obimba, 2023 will be different. It will not be what happened in 2015. It will not be happened in 2019. Because our brothers from old Bende were used to hold some of us down, so that whatever that was voted during the election was what was counted. And my APC brothers of Ngwa extraction, few of them, majority of them, compromised the party and the party candidates in 2019 to ensure that Governor Keje Ikpazu returned back as governor. Most of APC political leaders compromised their positions. It's an open secret that they worked with PDP. When our PDP brothers in Abia North held us down, now Abia North has come together. If they think that they have divided old Bende along political divide to make them enemies, 2023 will be different. The hand that scattered Israel will bring back Israel ahead of 2023. And we are ready to negotiate, because I'm very, very happy he said he will consult. We are consulting. It's no threat. We are consulting. We will reach out. We will come together. And if he thinks that Aba North and South Federal constituency by election is a pointer to what will happen in 2023, they are dead wrong. I want to tell them that no senatorial district in this state can single-handedly produce a governor. At least they will not be able to meet the 25% geographical zone required to produce a governor. No senatorial district can meet it. So we must consult ourselves widely, not to divide the state the more. I think what should concern Abians now, what Abians want to know now, what Abians are yearning for, is that demand, effective demand, should be placed, should be made on His Excellency Governor Keze Ibazu to deliver democratic dividends to Abians. Other states are not talking about salary payment. They are talking about critical infrastructure that will not only jumpstart the economy, but takes the youths out of crime. I'm not talking of if you want to tell me the infrastructures you have given the state, you tell me Domino Pizza, you tell me fast food. That is not where states are. Please, I want to appeal to PDP-led government to stop distracting Abians, to caution inordinate, ambitious politicians like Onwusibe from heating up the polity. If it is time for politics, we will start. It is time to place demand, even on the House of Assembly, to ask the right questions, to do the right things, so that Abians can look back after 4 years and say, yes, we elected people who have gone to represent us effectively. Thank you.
So the kind of music we are hearing from the South kind of very strange to you. What do you think will happen if they continue to beat?
Abians will be the ultimate losers because it is too early to start the music. Emphasis will be on who succeeds Governor Keze Ibazu and not what has Governor Keze Ibazu done for Abians who elected him. Money will be deployed to early campaign and struggle for political power. And so once it starts like that, Abians will no longer have the mindset to ask what rightfully belongs to them. And that is what they want to achieve. What they want to achieve is to give an impression that campaign has started, so governors is no longer necessary. Because the failure of the government, the state government, has not given them anything to campaign with, has not given them the opportunity to tell Abians what they have done to improve the well-being of other citizens. So it's a political strategy. Change the narratives. Let emphasis be on campaign and no longer on governance. So Abians should not be fooled.
As a critical stakeholder in the All Progressive Congress, what is the position of your party as regards to this dichotomy between Umunnato and Abia North? What's your party's position regarding governorship competition?
Well, you know, in politics, an open context. Nobody emerges by his own personal will. Nobody is given power, even if it is councillor. You come with your own argument, I come with my own argument. Then there is horse trading. And I know my party, as it is presently constituted, will not make the mistake of taking Abia governorship out of Abia North. That will spell doom for the party. It will be dead on arrival. If they do it, I don't mind my position. I will work against the party. I am ready to leave the party for the sake of the interest of my own people. My people have said it is their turn to produce the governor. If a clock is going clockwise, will he get to 6 o'clock and begin to go anti-clockwise? He cannot. If the clock starts going anti-clockwise, it is 40. You take it to a repairer to repair it to go the right way it should go. It should go from Abia North, from where it started, to Abia Central, and to Abia South again. To Abia South again. We are not against that. Abia North have always cooperated with all the senatorial zones. Yes. When we started agitating and looking for an alternative platform to contest the election, it was because we were not getting a fair deal from the PDP government. They got power through the instrumentality of the old Bende arrangement. It was an old Bende arrangement that transferred power to Abia South. Go and look at it critically. When the battle and the struggle was on, Abia North people were contesting, but an old Bende man personally deployed his personal financial resources and produced the governor of Fungo extraction. So it is their time to reciprocate what the old Bende man has done. And in reciprocating, I am not against Abia North looking at equity and fairness, possibly looking at the old Okigwe division. But if the old Okigwe division does not give us a very competent candidate, a very sellable candidate that can win the election, because it is about marketability, we look at across the other local governments, provided it's from Abia North.
So one would argue that last election, your party candidate from Abia North,
yes,
who is Chijioke Chukwu Replies.
Yes.
And supposing he had won that election, we wouldn't be here where we are today. What led to that decision by our party to field the candidates from Abia North in 2019?
Abians were not getting democratic dividends, and so we wanted a change. But still our brothers from both Abia North and Abia Central felt that it would be a disservice to Abia North. People will look at us as if we are not trustworthy. So those of us that had a different opinion, that if we continue to leave government administration to the hand of PDP, then the state will collapse. And the state is almost collapsing, if not for the intervention of President Muhammadu Buhari through Paris Club reform, through different social intervention activities. By now, the state won't be paying salary. And even with all these interventions, our salary is being paid as at when due. Are you feeling the impact of this administration in Abia North? It was because of the marginalization of the old Bende man by this administration that led to that agitation for us to feed in a candidate. And our brothers of old Bende extraction, Abia North and Abia Central, still said no. Let us give them the opportunity to finish their term. And that was what you saw that happened in 2019.
Okay, there are some ABC party estates, and we have some of the party members who are saying that the arrangement of the senatorial zone arrangement was a PDP arrangement, that it is not the APC arrangement. How have you, the party that adopted that particular arrangement, that you will go with the zoning arrangement of central? There are some members are saying no, that their own is open. What's your take on that?
Yes. To do with zoning, and what we are saying is about zoning, and because of that, that's how he justified the 2019 candidacy of President Chijioke. So now, has that position changed?
We in Abia North don't have, that is my personal opinion, don't have problem with that. Politics is about contesting the numbers, and politics is about effective deployment of resources. if they have the resources to contest the election, we will welcome them, but we will give them superior argument that because of fairness and equity, which my party, the All Progressive Congress, believes in, that we should come to Abia North.
Let me find out something. Was there really an agreement, whether verbal or written, over this very issue we are talking about? Was there really a strong agreement between politicians in the north and those in the south?
Thank you. Our traditional rulers, who are the custodians of our culture, and elder statesmen of Abia North, have reliably, and I have no reason to doubt them, that they consulted with their colleagues in Abia Central and Abia North, and they agreed that after Governor Chijioke's administration from Abia North South, power will return to Abia North. And we are hinging on argument on if you had such an agreement, traditional rulers, custodians of our culture, and our political elders, why don't we, the youth and the politicians, abide by that agreement? Why must we jettison it? It is that agreement that compelled them to appeal to young politicians of Abia North extraction to support Governor Chijioke for a second time, and that was what you saw happen in Abia. What you saw happen in Bende is that it's not possible for a former governor of Abia State who delivered democratic dividend that is unquantifiable to date in the story of Abia State to lose a senatorial election. We are beneficiaries of that bad work on the fate of following Ojo Zokalo.
The state right now, do you think Abians should be looking out for this senatorial division, or should we be looking out for someone who is capable of changing the history of Abia State, sir?
In all the states of the Federation, you can hardly find any state that is not, contesting the governorship, that has not hinged their governorship contest along senatorial districts. Abia will not be an exception. It's like that in Enugu, it's like that in Ebonyi, it's like that in Cross River, and so many other states you can think of. The only exception possibly being Rivers. It's like that in Delta. And there is no senatorial district you will go to in Abia today, you will not find at least 100 people that are very competent intellectually, morally, to be elected governor. It's not possible. So let us take it to that senatorial district that it is their right to produce the governor, and let the citizens from that senatorial district be able, or the citizens of Abia State, narrow down the people they feel they have the requisite qualification, the exposure, the intellectual competence, and the exposure to administer the state well. That is just what we are asking for, nothing more. I'm not saying the person must come from Bende. If he comes from Isukwata, good. If the person comes from Umunechi, very well. If it comes from Chukwu or Hafia, or even Bende. It should be Abia North.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to divert a little bit from this political issues and talk about the Paris Club 22 billion reform. And we've had a lot of stories. Obviously, you've been following as a house member all the stories of 22 billion, the 20%, the 30%. Yes. And I know that you're a committee member in the House of Assembly to investigate that same issue. But on an overview, what is your perception concerning all these controversies?
As because I'm expected to be fair to all. So I will advise you to wait until we do our job. We are starting today. You just saw Dr. Ibekura, former SAG, a while ago, and I'm sure he's here because of it. And let me assure Abians that this is one committee we cannot afford to fail, because a lot of expositions have been made But you cannot say this is exactly what transpired. We need documents to justify some of these assertions. So it will be too early for me to say this is my perception about the consultant, the release and utilization of the Paris Club Fund. But I want to assure Abians that in that committee, there is nothing to fear. All of us are from the opposition. Nobody is afraid of getting ticket to return for the second time. And it's an opportunity for us to show Abians that there is hope in the House of Assembly.
Let me bring it back to the
In your submission, you did say that your people from your senatorial region are clamoring that it's their turn to produce a governor come 2023.
Yes.
What if PDP-led government decides to assuage their clamor and then produce a candidate from that same region? Won't that create some kind of distraction, confusion, or even disaffection within your party?
It will only happen if my party did not equally produce a candidate from marginal North extraction. And that is why I told you that it will be very, very difficult for me if PDP gives a ticket for me to personally vote for an APC governorship candidate of any extraction that is not Abia North. I said it clearly. I'm not afraid to say it.
So it will be a wonderful contest if you two go to.
Yes. 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 Thank you.
Sorry. Until today, we observe that again the loudest voice of the opposition. And suddenly, we are no longer talking. And we wonder if you started dining with the.
But I'm talking with you now. I invited you.
I saw until today.
No, you have not come here to interview me. I will not just carry my microphone and be shouting outside. It is when you seek my opinion I will speak.